Today is April 30th, 2021, and the time is 3:53 p.m. Currently, there are 32,091,429 reported positive cases of COVID-19 in the United States and 572,190 deaths. In Wisconsin, the cases that have been reported are 598,147 with 6,823 deaths. The current vaccination is at 30.5% nationally, or else 101,407,318 people. Now, today I am here with Brenda Sawyer from 4:30 a.m. Coffee House in Chippewa Falls, and thank you for joining us for this interview.
You're welcome.
Now, if you wouldn't mind sharing, do you have any demographic information that you would wish to share for the archive?
Not that I can imagine. I'm not sure what you're after exactly. We're in the city of downtown Chippewa Falls, and we operate a drive-through coffee shop, and we have indoor dining also. We're a small shop and have about 40 seats inside, 35 to 40 seats inside, and then a very active drive-through, which is located right downtown Chippewa Falls.
And what would you say would be your day-to-day activities regarding your business?
Mostly, we're a full-service coffee shop, so mostly coffee, and anything that comes with it as far as coffee drinks, teas, and any kind of drinks that you can imagine. And also we do a fair amount of baking ourselves. So we have a lot of baked goods, and we also run a full lunch, which includes salads, soups, and sandwiches.
Excellent. And what would you say it's like being a small business in Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin?
What was the question?
What would you say it's like being a small business in Chippewa Falls?
I would say that it's fairly challenging. And I don't think that it's just because of Chippewa Falls. We have a very active Main Street program, and so we have a lot of support within our community as far as that, and the Chamber of Commerce, which we're members of. But it's challenging to run a small business anywhere, and obviously with COVID, it ramped it up pretty good. But yeah, it's very challenging. I have a business partner, and so the two of us share the responsibilities of the business, and I do the business end of it, and she does mostly the day-to-day running of the shop.
And you, as you mentioned, it's already pretty difficult to run your own small business. So
Right.
With the pandemic, how much or little has that necessarily made it more difficult, or like what aspects have changed?
It's changed our business completely. We actually shut down the inside of our facility on March 17th last year, and we've just opened it this week. So our inside dining has been closed for a year and a month. And as you can imagine what that would do to your business model, it's completely different. And so what we had to do was try and figure out a way to stay in business and stay afloat during a time that was super challenging. And so we promoted through Facebook and different venues ways to keep our drive up busy. We came up with some ways to sell our products differently. We went to some 6-pack cinnamon rolls that were really successful, and some different ways to, encourage people to try our product without seeing it in person inside the shop, which is very challenging. So the other piece of it is just because of COVID, just all that it takes to be safe. And so, we've always been a shop that's cared very much for the safety of our customers. And we've always worked closely with the county health department, which I'd like to give a shout out to, because they've worked really hard through this process. And we believe very much in that ourselves. But just what we had to do to purchase supplies, sanitizers, gloves. And I think what most people don't realize is we've always used those products, but just gloves alone have maybe quadrupled in price. You know, a case of gloves is at least 4 times as much right now as it was before COVID. So, and plus you're using a lot more because you're just more aware of what we glove up for everything now. And it's just the way that you do business. And this isn't unique for us. This is for every restaurant that's open at this time. I'm just trying to purchase all of these supplies that you need to function in a COVID environment.
And with like a lot of your, because of course you have had to purchase different supplies with the pandemic. How difficult would you say that like your supplies that you typically had before the pandemic, have those become any more difficult with the pandemic?
Yeah, actually, you know, that was in the beginning of the pandemic. It was almost impossible to even get some things. And we've gone to 2 different food vendors because it's the same way with food, that we scrambled around every week. It seemed like almost every week. Even now, there's shortages in all kinds of different areas in the food market. So, you know, we wouldn't be able to get, let's just say, for instance, romaine lettuce or something like that. Well, that's mainly what we sell, our salads. So, I mean, if you can't get romaine, what do you do? You know, so it makes you scramble around. And when you can't get something through your vendor, then you're paying a higher price for things too, because then they become very expensive. So, you know, everybody laughs about, you know, the shortage of toilet paper, but that really was the start of all of it. And obviously businesses use that too. So I mean, that gave you an idea from a household standpoint, what it would be like to run a business that has to try and come up with all kinds of supplies. It's not just toilet paper, but a lot of things we really had difficulty finding. And even today, we will scramble around a little bit. Every week it's something different that we're kind of looking for. So.
And with these shortages, have you had to alter your menu at all, or how you make certain goods?
We haven't. We have been able to figure it out. There were some times that in the springtime, I would say between March and June, where we didn't know from week to week if we would have to take an item off the menu or something like that. We just tried to be creative. But it's stressful and it's hard for owners and buyers. And I mean, we're a really small business, so it's hard for us, but even the big businesses, it's really hard for a large restaurant too. And a lot of them were closed during that time, but it's a unique kind of stress that is put on business owners.
I'd imagine.
Mm-hmm.
And at the beginning, when the pandemic began, how exactly was your and your business partner's reaction, or what did you think when it first started to take away?
Well, weirdly, we were on a trip when it first started to come out, and we were getting spotty kind of news coverage on it. And so we got home right before the shutdown. And so we got home the week before, and we came home and we just decided to shut down the shop. And that was, like I said, on March 17th. Excuse me. And actually, I think we were pretty fearful. I mean, I remember being quite afraid. We were afraid of, obviously, our health, and especially the health of our employees. We have a small crew, but we're very close. And we have a few of us that are in that age group that that had concerns about our health. And so our main goal was obviously to sustain the business, but really our main goal was to keep everyone well.
Mhm.
So it was not that hard of a decision to close the inside of the shop just because of the risk of it. And we stayed closed a lot longer than a lot of places, that's for sure. But it got to the point where we just decided that we would stay closed until our crew was able to be vaccinated.
And you said that even though the indoor seating has been closed, you've been conducting all of your business through drive-throughs and
We
walk-ups.
are very, very fortunate, and we are very grateful that we, unlike a lot of places, we had developed a pretty good drive-through business. If we would have had to rely on takeout, I think it would have been pretty rough. But because people were pretty used to coming through the drive up for their coffee and food, it wasn't that much of a transition for them to go through the drive up to get lunch and things. So, and in fact, actually what they found, I think, is that it's actually a lot easier. So I think our business model has changed somewhat. So some good things do come out of this type of situation.
And since opening up your indoor seating, have you experienced any like automatic changes as far as customers and business goes?
No, not really. It's been a little bit slow. Actually, I think people are still pretty hesitant about going in and eating in places. I really feel like we did what they call a soft opening. We didn't really announce it that much. We just wanted to ease into it just for our own sake, and just to get used to having people inside the shop. And it was a good week. A lot to get used to, just having people around. And it's good. I mean, we have a lot of, being from a smaller town, you have a lot of really good friends that come in, and so it's good to see their faces for sure. But it was an adjustment this week for just learning how to make sure the tables are safe, and all the things that would keep everybody safe. So.
And would you say that transition has been more on like the smooth side or the rocky side for your employees?
I think it's been pretty smooth, actually. We talked a lot about it. We communicate a lot, probably more than most people do, with our employees and team. And so, we had a meeting beforehand. I think we had a good plan in place. And like I said, we've always been aware and strongly have sterilized, and our standards are really high when it comes to those sorts of things. So it isn't that much of a change. It's just kind of being more aware is really. And we're already used to wearing masks all the time. So it really wasn't that much of a change. It's just kind of getting used to having people in there again.
And yeah, and Chippewa Falls has many small businesses. So have any of your decisions as far as how you conduct business been influenced by other businesses around you?
Somewhat, but I mean, we do kind of take our own road as far as, I think we're more conservative when it comes to, at least we have been during this pandemic. I think that, like I said, our main goal was to keep our staff safe and ourselves healthy.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that we were able to do that, though, because we did have the drive-through. I mean, I think that I felt really bad for businesses that had to open because they have no choice. And we have so many unique and really cool shops downtown Chippewa Falls. We have such a nice downtown area, and I think it's been hard for everyone trying to get traffic into their shops and things. And it's having the drive up, we feel very grateful for that, because I think our situation is a little bit different than someone that just has a storefront.
Mm-hmm. And of course, you mentioned before that Chippewa Falls is a very close-knit community.
Mm-hmm.
And so have your relationships with the community been altered at all over the time that the
Been
pandemic?
altered. I feel like everybody's trying to work together to get good solutions.
Mhm.
You know, we try to support all our friends downtown that own businesses. I mean, we made a good effort to try and do takeout food at least once a week or more, to support all of our friends that own restaurants. We know what the struggle is. So we are very, very aware of that, and, you know, didn't stay open longer in the evening or anything because we really felt like that, you know, they should go somewhere else for dinner. And I know that's kind of a unique kind of model, but I mean, we're more of a morning shop anyway. And I don't know. Yes, I think that we all try to support each other. A lot of them come through the coffee shop, obviously. And so it's, you know, it's like, how you doing? Are you hanging in there okay? And all, just trying to support each other that way.
Mhm.
Because we all have the same look on our face most days, like what is going on, you know? And when is this going to end and get back to some kind of normal?
Yeah. And would you say that being a predominantly morning shop has been to any benefit or hindrance?
What was that? I'm sorry.
Would you say that being a morning shop has been a benefit or a hindrance?
Um, no, I think that's just our model, and that's just the way we've always operated. We're up and running and working a couple hours before the rest of the world gets going. So we really cater to everyone going to work. So you know, by 4 in the afternoon, when the other restaurants are opening or really getting, you know, up to speed, um, we're finished for the day. So we are downtown open, you know, in the middle of the night practically. So yeah. And we didn't change. We changed our hours just a little bit during that time, but not too much.
And would you say that any of your alterations to your business for the pandemic are going to continue on once the pandemic has run its course?
Um, yeah, I think, you know, there, like I said, there were some things that actually there's good that comes out of every bad. And I think that, I think not just for us, but for everyone, they're going to find that life changed a little bit or a lot. And some good things did come out of it. And for us, it maybe was we we sold some of our bakery goods a little bit differently. People really like that. And I think just developing our drive-through business and how we managed that at the time, I think, I don't think we'll change that too much. I think it's going very well, and we were pretty fortunate.
Mhm. And do you have any hopes or predictions for the future?
Oh, I wish I could, huh? I see, I do really feel that things are really going to bust open here now. And I think that um, as as people get vaccinated, I think we'll see not just us, but our city and state. I think things will um, really really come to life. And I think financially and socially, and as people are more comfortable going to things, I think you'll see that business will really start to boom. And I think we'll come out of this just fine. I think that it's kind of an exciting time in the way, because you know that um, you know, I think things are going to get a lot better. And I think it's going to get better pretty fast. I mean, I think as our, you know, uniquely in Wisconsin, as summer comes, we're busier, especially in Chippewa Falls. You know, we're kind of a destination city, I think, in some ways in the summertime. And so I think we'll see some of our bigger businesses like Line and Kugels that brings in, you know, a lot of people in town. I think that'll happen again this summer. And I think that that's good for all of us.
So currently you have positive thoughts for the road ahead?
I do. I'm very positive, and I, you know, I think that we've all been through something that's really been crazy, and I don't think that we'll see it again for a long time. And I think that I hope everybody's kind of learned from it, and You know, we all handled it a little bit differently, but challenge is good sometimes. And I think it makes you grateful for what you have. And at least that's the way that we feel about it. So,
Mhm.
so I think it'll be I think the next year, I don't think it's going to happen next month necessarily, but I think in the next 6 to 9 months, I think we'll see a lot of things going on that are for the good.
Yeah, I agree. Is there any other final thoughts that you would like to bring to my attention?
No, not that I can think of. Look forward to the future, that's for sure. Keep positive.
Sorry.
Stay healthy.
Yeah. Well, I thank you for joining me for this interview and for giving us a new insight into what a small business is like during the pandemic.
All right. Thank you.